Welcome to Bluegrass Brooklyn, our podcast all about the music we love, straight from the bluegrass borough of Brooklyn, New York.
And lovers carve initials in trees, but our love's been the shade of a deep green forest. Countless times you bent your limbs for me. As the years roll by, we don't celebrate with gifts or show off our love like a wreath, like a tree.
Welcome to this Monday edition of Bluegrass Brooklyn. I'm your host, Mike Wilner. Thanks for joining. On these Monday editions, we like to explore topics that are related to or support our favorite music. And today, we get to meet Cassie Wright, the recently appointed Executive Director of the IBMA Foundation. When I encountered the foundation at the 2025 World of Bluegrass, I was really surprised at the scope and breadth of support the foundation provides for artists and organizations in our music. So I thought I wanted to find out more, and I'd want to share that with you as well. Before we get started, please remember to follow us at Bluegrass Brooklyn, Brooklyn spelled BKLYN. If you'd like to drop a line and say hi, make suggestions, or make requests, email to mike@bluegrassbrooklyn.com. If you're looking for jams in Uptown Manhattan, Bronx, Riverdale, New Jersey, and across the country, go visit bluegrassjamsnearme.com. And if you'd like to receive a weekly email giving you the inside story on jams, events, gigs, and the doings around our community in the New York tri-state area, go subscribe to the email list at porchstomp.com. Okay, let's get to the interview. So here we are with Cassie Wright, Executive Director of the IBMA Foundation. Cassie, thanks a lot for taking time today.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
You were recently appointed as the Executive Director of the Foundation?
Yes, correct. My starting date as the ED is April 1st, so very fresh. This is my first interview to get to do on behalf of the IBMA Foundation.
Excellent. Well, we are really pleased to get the opportunity to speak with you. A little bit of context, I was at the IBMA World of Bluegrass in 2025, and it was my first visit there.
Awesome.
As a relatively new podcaster, I was looking around to see who I might want to speak with, but I came across the foundation booth, and I was really surprised by the variety of things that the foundation is involved with and supports. So I knew I wanted to spend a little time finding out more about it and bring that to the listeners. But before we go there, let's talk about something probably equally important. I understand you're a banjo player.
Yes, I am a banjo player and a dobro player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone loves when you show up at jams because we always need both of those.
I think so. I think they bring a lot to a jam. So I'm also married to a banjo player. So we do live in a single family home for the courtesy of a lot of Chicagoans.
That's right. I can imagine. Let's talk just a little bit about how you got into playing banjo of all things and dobro, which is also another relatively unusual instrument.
Yeah, absolutely. I really came to bluegrass as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I was here in the city of Chicago, but I'm originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was really missing home.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned about the Old Town School of Folk Music and started taking banjo. So I don't play any other instruments outside of the banjo and the dobro. I fell in love with banjo and went to the Old Town School and learned there they have just many great teachers, including Greg Cahill as a Special Consensus and also some of the other Special C boys from the many years they've been on the road. And so I came to the banjo, and then I started dating a banjo player and fell in love with him and realized that I couldn't just stay on banjo. So I switched over to the dobro, and that has worked well for all of us. And I love the sound of it. I love playing it. And I also just love having something a little different than my spouse.
Yeah, understood.
I play with Fox Crossing String Band, and I'm able to switch between both dependent upon the tune. And that gives me a lot of versatility and also joy. So, yeah.
I'll tell you this, my sense of intonation has improved 500%, if not 1,000%.
Totally.
I think it's entirely appropriate that someone who's intimately involved with an IBMA-related organization should be a musician as well. That's great.
Yeah.
What's the relationship between the foundation and the IBMA itself?
So they are two separate organizations with two separate boards, a lot of the same vision, but different missions. So the mission for the foundation is really focused on the future of bluegrass. And the mission for the IBMA Association is more focused on the current bluegrass professionals and ensuring that there's support for them as well. Are what's considered a sister agency, so
Mhm.
being a similar nonprofit, and we do have that shared name in common as well. So.
Uh-huh. So that's an interesting distinction, looking towards the future versus the present. Let's talk a little bit about the future. Let's take this one segment at a time. We have a theme here on the show we like to pursue. We call the next generation, where we speak to younger players as young as
Yeah.
10, 11 years old, 15, 20, recent conservatory graduates. Because if you go to a festival or any of these events, there's an awful lot of older folks, but there's this contingent, I call them the kids, where you don't want to try and jam with them because you can't keep up, don't even try. And it's just really encouraging to see all these kids who are either conservatory students or bound for that type of education. What does the foundation do to support and promote them?
So much. And I'm really glad you brought that forward because that is definitely a focus for the IBMA Foundation. And that's how it started. So it began in 2007 with a gift from the Barnhart Estate,
Mhm.
specifically to educate young people. And since that time, that has been a core feature of the programs. There are both program grants, college scholarships, and international work focused on the promotion of bluegrass and engaging both young people and adults, but definitely a key focus on young people, both in terms of opportunities for exposure, like with band grants and grants coming to bring bands to schools, but also for the opportunity for scholarships to support college going populations. And then even with the world of bluegrass, there's also great college work that we do there as far as having a college stage and
Mhm.
opportunities for college age students to get into the world of bluegrass scene.
That sounds like the sort of conservatory age or conservatory bound crowd. What about the much younger, the 11, 12, 15-year-old bunch?
So there are scholarships specifically to support students in those ways and engaging them. So it is really focused on future forward and making sure that there are opportunities for youth to learn bluegrass.
That's really so important. I'm not sure what involvement the foundation may have in the kids on bluegrass programs and stuff like that that the IBMA offers, but so many of the younger generation I've encountered have been through that. And I'm sure they also have touch points with the foundation as well.
Correct. There's definitely great opportunities there. And that's part of why structuring the work with the world of bluegrass and making sure there's a space for college students or college age students to shine and find that next space after or in conjunction with the Kids for Bluegrass, then to a college space and then as a professional. That's part of the scope.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about other programs. I know there's a bunch of grants that the foundation awards. I imagine each one has a particular focus. Do you want to highlight a few?
Yeah, I'd love to highlight the Arnold Schultz Fund. That is one that, if you are attuned to our website, you'll be seeing shortly. We're about to announce our next group of grants. And so the Arnold Schultz Fund was established in 2020 to support the participation of people of color. That includes underrepresented individuals and
Mhm.
groups in bluegrass music. So there are a group of grantees that we're excited to announce those project grant awards. And this has been happening annually. We're just about to announce the 2026 awardees.
That's great. We're always have our eyes peeled for the opportunity to bring underrepresented groups forward. Let's roll it forward a little bit. What about recent conservatory grads or new professionals, people starting their careers or trying to get their careers in the music world going? Is there any support for them by the foundation?
A lot of that work, as far as engagement in the industry, that is more aligned with the IBMA as the membership organization. But some of the things that the IBMA Foundation offers also that I'd really want to highlight is the fact that we also offer scholarships like the Neil Rosenberg Award. So it's not just about bluegrass as a performance space, but also in the Neil Rosenberg Scholar Award, that's for an academic scholar. So someone who is focused on a different aspect of bluegrass music and making sure that there's both history and academia in supporting this work as well. So I think that is something I really want to highlight specific to the foundation's work, is thinking about bluegrass both as performance and a space for connection and a space for scholarly work as well.
Yeah, I think it occurs to me that what you just described supports the important work that a lot of musicians engage with, which is preserving the culture
Right.
and history of the music, as well as just the pure musicality of it. We were chatting before the show. You mentioned a initiative you're just kicking off. Why don't we talk about that a little bit?
So we are kicking off our Strings for Dreams campaign. This is a bluegrass raffle that starts on April 1st. And you can enter anytime between April 1st and May 15th. This is the 6th annual Strings for Dreams Bluegrass Raffle, and we're raffling off an HD 35 Martin guitar with a hard shell case.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, pretty cool. Dr. Richard Brown, who's a former IBMA board member, as well as a co-chair for the Arnold Schultz Advisory Committee, donated this guitar. It is valued at $4,500, and it's an online raffle. So you can go to stringsfordreams.com to be able to find that raffle information. Tickets are $20, and we'll be doing the drawing on May 16th.
Wow. Let me make note of that. I want to get my bid in for
I was about to say, do you play guitar as well on top of fiddle?
Well, I don't play guitar, so I only have 3. You know how it is.
Well, this one could be 4.
That's right.
You're ready.
I'm ready for my 4th guitar.
Yeah.
That's really a great opportunity. What else is coming up? Figuring we're rolling into the spring and we're getting ready for a nice summer of festivals. What else is going on with the foundation?
We've got a lot of our grants and programs that are kicking off. One thing that's more internal to the foundation is we are going through this leadership transition with me coming on board. We'll also be embarking on a strategic plan in the fall, which I'm really excited about as we position ourselves to be real future forward to support bluegrass. And we also are announcing our Biscuits for Bluegrass fundraiser. That is at World of Bluegrass, and that's going to be in October. That is the Friday, the 23rd. And this is our 2nd annual fundraiser. It's an awesome way to have a great breakfast and also rub elbows with some bluegrass stars. We do a silent auction, and we definitely would encourage you to attend. Those tickets go on sale in June. So as you make your World of Bluegrass plans, definitely keep that Friday morning open for the IBMA Foundation.
Oh, I'll see you there for sure. What about underserved communities where kids who might want to play can't really afford an instrument or things like that? Is there anything that the foundation does in that space?
Yes, there are scholarships focused on just that space, being able to provide lesson support. And also we do have project-based support. So there are many of the project grants that we fund provide support for either bluegrass camps or after-school programs. So there's kind of 2 ways to be able to receive support and for us to have an impact in that space, both from the camps and after-school program side, but also through the individual scholarships themselves.
Yeah, that's so important. I know as a kid, I wasn't about to be able to go buy an orchestral instrument, but because the New York City public school system provides instruments and actually required at that time kids to either take band or orchestra, that was my introduction to playing and seriously playing instrumental music. And it was very important to have that support, that somebody was willing to lend an instrument and was willing to pay for the lessons or donate lessons and stuff. So I think we get the opportunity to bring a lot of people into the circle.
Absolutely. And I think that's also great to think about in terms of working with the IBMA Foundation. If you are a donor or someone who's interested in a particular area of work, we are able to set up scholarship programs and grant opportunities that speak to that. So that is something that is a big part of my job. And what I'm looking forward to is connecting with folks about how to establish a legacy in bluegrass music, whether that is a scholarship award or support for existing programs that fund, hands-on activities for youth in bluegrass. So we really do establish just a variety of pathways so that if that is something you're interested in as a donor, we can support you in really bringing that to life for generations to come.
That is great. The idea of providing that kind of support to potential scholarship grantors is going to be critical. I can imagine someone trying to work their way through all of that on their own without the support would be very difficult.
Exactly.
I'm curious, what kind of skills or specializations really make it possible to run a foundation like that? You do more than just ask people for money. I know that. So what do you need to be able to do in order to make this foundation work?
Man, I need an awesome board and I have one. So I'm really excited about that. We have a large board with the IBMA Foundation and they are a working board. So
Hmm.
the foundation just has me as the executive director as the only paid staff person. And so it really does require the support of a robust board that is dedicated to this work. And I'm just so thankful that we have that. And they've been instrumental in this transition. It also requires volunteers and it requires some great partners. For the IBMA Foundation, one of our key partners is the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee,
Hmm.
and they help us to endow a lot of these scholarships and programs. And that is so impactful, especially for a smaller foundation
Hmm.
to be able to know that we've set up these scholarships and awards to go on in perpetuity. That is just such an incredible intentionality that the board had in making the foundation and making this work. So I'm thrilled to be able to not just raise money, but also to be able to really build partnerships and help people think about their legacy. And we are working with this foundation to help endow these awards so that they go on for perpetuity.
It's a very exciting thought to be able to have that kind of ongoing impact on the growth of our favorite music. There must now be people who are listening who are saying, gee, I would love to support or be involved with the foundation. What are the different ways people can do that?
Yeah, I'd invite them to check out our website. It's bluegrassfoundation.org, and they can get a sense there of the variety of scholarships, programs, grants, and they can donate there directly, but they can also reach out to me. I'm Cassie Wright. My email is cassie@bluegrassfoundation.org, and I can also support you in understanding more about the foundation and how best to get involved. We also do have a group called the Friends of the Foundation, which is essentially like our home team or our street team working
Hmm.
together to build a brighter future for bluegrass.
So, Cassie, if somebody is inclined to donate to the foundation, is it possible for them to donate to a specific area or how does that work?
Absolutely. So we have both opportunities to give generally, which is an unrestricted donation to support any of the work or the highest priority need of the foundation. But we also have these individual funds and scholarship awards as well that we can designate that support distinctly to one fund or one program. So if you're really called to hands-on bluegrass programming with youth, we have a fund for that. And you can go ahead and fund directly to that fund and ensure that your donation is leading in that work.
Hmm. Okay. So, is there a minimum donation that someone needs to provide?
No minimum donation. We really would appreciate any support at any level you would like to give. It does really help, not only even as simple as a raffle ticket or joining us with a donation on our website, also puts you in touch with us in terms of our mailing list and sharing out all the great work that those donations go to. So we really want you involved for both reasons, to be able to share out the future of the work and share how your donation is used. So it's an opportunity to learn more about our work and make sure that we're connected.
So, anything else coming up or anything else you want to make sure our listeners are aware of?
Think that's a lot.
That's already a lot. Exactly.
We've shared a lot, and I really appreciate the opportunity. We're really excited about the future of this organization. We're here to grow both in impact and in size, and we just are so glad to be part of this incredible music.
Yeah, I was so proud to see what the foundation accomplishes. When I first thought about it, I first sort of saw the booth and started, I said, oh, yes, give them money and they'll fund something. Just felt I had a very simplistic view of what the foundation may be doing. And then when I looked into it, all of the various things
Yeah.
that
It's it's incredibly impressive, and that's why I'm thrilled as a, bluegrass musician and supporter, before coming to this role, just the incredible foundation that's been laid. So I'm super excited. There's been over, even just in the last year, more than $74,000 awarded for grants,
wow,
scholarships, and programs. We've got 500 supporters that have supported the mission in the past year, and we're just growing, and we're just really looking forward to the future.
that's great. And the work is so important, and you can see the results when people are enabled and empowered to continue playing the music and growing the music through the
Hmm.
efforts of the foundation. So we really do appreciate it and thank you for all of that. Well, Cassie, it's been great speaking with you. I really appreciate you taking time today, and we'll check back in a couple of months and find out who got that great guitar.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Mike.
So great to meet Cassie and get to hear all about the many ways we can support the foundation, which in turn supports us. Please remember to follow us at Bluegrass Brooklyn, Brooklyn spelled BKLYN. Drop an email to mike@bluegrassbrooklyn.com. Go check out bluegrassgemsnearme.com to find gems in the New York and New Jersey area. And go subscribe to the Porch Stomp email and get weekly updates on pretty much everything that's going on. Okay, until next time, we look forward to seeing you around the Jam Circle.
In the